interconference showdown, San Antonio FC and FC Tulsa here on Bally Sports. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome you upstairs to the broadcast booth with the coach, Tim Hankinson, and the third member of our team, Hayden Partain, down on the field. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Could be a clinching party here tonight at Toyota Field, an opportunity for San Antonio FC to lock down a playoff berth. More on that in a moment. But, Coach, SAFC, an impressive victory on Sunday, 4-2 over Memphis 901.
This is the time of year that goal scoring is very important to build confidence, getting great 4 goals. I mean, these were not mistake goals. These were not rebounds. These are outstanding constructed balls in the back of the net, and so they should be feeling very confident coming into the night.
It's a great opportunity for Nathan after he puts on his 4th brace of the season, snaps what had been an extended goal drought. He had not scored, Coach, since September the 4th, but he was outstanding on Sunday.
Yeah, strikers are streaky, but I love the way he's getting his goals. A lot of it comes from the movement off the ball. A player like Dylan there opens up the angles for him, and he's able to find them.
Take a look at Nathan. Those 2 goals now give him 10 overall for the season. It is the 2nd highest single season goal total in SAFC history. He's the 3rd player to reach 10 goals or more in a single campaign. As you see, he's the 1st player with 4 braces in a single year.
And Dan, you've seen every single one of those goals and all those scores, set those records, and we're going to see another one either tonight or the next night with Nathan.
Well, as we said, it could be a clinching party tonight for San Antonio FC as we take a look at the Mountain Division table right now. SAFC sitting on 47 points, 2nd in the table, in a driver's seat position to not only clinch but also get home field playoff advantage with a 2-point edge over Colorado Springs. Now, Austin Bold FC sitting in 4th. They have already lost today, thanks to old friend Leo Torres playing with Real Monarchs, got his first 2 goals. But if SAFC wins tonight and RGB does not win, San Antonio is in the postseason for the 3rd time in their history.
Right, and there's no more exciting time than making the playoffs, knowing you're in. And then the coach can manage the last couple of games to make sure his starting lineup is sharp, healthy, and ready.
Another chance for Nathan tonight to get out on his front foot and get SAFC full 3 points. No easy task, though. Tulsa sitting 4th in the Central, and they're looking to make the playoffs for consecutive seasons, too. So we'll see what happens with the Brazilian out on the pitch tonight. We'll have starting 11s and kick when we return on Bally Sports. It is a picture-perfect fall evening here in South Texas. 2 former longtime rivals, both with playoff aspirations, get together in an interconference showdown, San Antonio FC and FC Tulsa here on Bally Sports. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome you upstairs to the broadcast booth with the coach, Tim Hankinson, and the third member of our team, Hayden Partain, down on the field. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Could be a clinching party here tonight at Toyota Field, an opportunity for San Antonio FC to lock down a playoff berth. More on that in a moment. But, Coach, SAFC, an impressive victory on Sunday, 4-2 over Memphis 901.
This is the time of year that goal scoring is very important to build confidence, getting great 4 goals. I mean, these were not mistake goals. These were not rebounds. These are outstanding, constructed balls in the back of the net, and so they should be feeling very confident coming into the night.
It's a great opportunity for Nathan after he puts on his 4th brace of the season, snaps what had been an extended goal drought. He had not scored, coach, since September the 4th, but he was outstanding on Sunday.
Yeah, strikers are streaky, but I love the way he's getting his goals. A lot of it comes from the movement off the ball. A player like Dylan there opens up the angles for him, and he's able to find them.
You take a look at Nathan, those 2 goals now give him 10 overall for the season. It is the 2nd highest single season goal total in SAFC history. He's the 3rd player to reach 10 goals or more in a single campaign. As you see, he's the 1st player with 4 braces in a single year.
And Dan, you've seen every single one of those goals and all those scores, hit those records, and we're going to see another one either tonight or the next night with Nathan.
Well, as we said, it could be a clinching party tonight for San Antonio FC. As we take a look at the Mountain Division table right now, SAFC sitting on 47 points, 2nd in the table, in a driver's seat position to not only clinch but also get home field playoff advantage with a 2-point edge over Colorado Springs. Now, Austin Bold FC sitting in 4th. They have already lost today, thanks to old friend Leo Torres playing with Real Monarchs, got his first 2 goals. But if SAFC wins tonight and RGB does not win, San Antonio is in the postseason for the 3rd time in their history.
Right, and there's no more exciting time than making the playoffs, knowing you're in. And then the coach can manage the last couple of games to make sure his starting lineup is sharp, healthy, and ready.
Another chance for Nathan tonight to get out on his front foot and get SAFC full 3 points. No easy task, though. Tulsa sitting 4th in the Central, and they're looking to make the playoffs for consecutive seasons, too. So we'll see what happens with the Brazilian out on the pitch tonight. We'll have starting 11s and kick when we return on Bally Sports.
Hey, Spurs fans! At Conzone Plus, we want to hook you up with the best NBA experience you can possibly get. Upgrading your fan cave with the latest TVs, audio, and electronics is easy buckets. Plus, with our personalized approach to financing, you can get low payments over time, good credit, or building it. That's what we call nothing but net. The San Antonio Spurs always score big with Conzone Plus. Let's make it happen for you, too.
Ve a donde te lleve tu lado salvaje.
Obtén 500 en efectivo o arrendatarios calificados arriendan una nueva Highlander L 2021 por $289 al mes. Toyota, vayamos juntos.
It's true for PC. Great save by Matt Cardoni. Gallegos to the back post. San Antonio FC back once again with the lead. San Antonio FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Just 3 Saturdays left here in the 2021 USL Championship regular season. SAFC will play 3 out of their final 4 games here at home, beginning with tonight in FC Tulsa. Now a member of the Central Division in the Eastern Conference, their starting 11 and a couple of familiar names. Jason Johnson, who came over from Austin midseason, and Johnny Fenwick, wearing number 6 on the back end. Spent 3 games in his rookie year back in 2019 with San Antonio FC. SAFC tonight, their starting 11 looks very similar to what it did on Sunday. Jazzer Kamiri had his second yellow card rescinded as it was successfully appealed by San Antonio, so his 1-game suspension nullified. You see, he's starting tonight. Sam Bleedle makes his first start in 10 matches as well. Look at center referee Elvis Osmanovic, along with Matthew Rodman, John Krill, Samuel Zamora, our officials for tonight's match. San Antonio FC and Tulsa, and as we said, it is a picture-perfect fall evening here in South Texas. 73 degrees tonight at kickoff. Light breeze out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour. It is a far cry from what it was just 24 hours ago here, Coach.
Yeah, no question about it. The weather's completely changed. And, you know, it reminds me, I grew up in the New York area and competed in New England. And this is fall. This is playoff weather you're starting to feel right now. It feels great.
Now the sun is completely down here this time of year in mid-October. And again, beautiful night. No complaints with the conditions out on the pitch for both sides as we're underway, along with the coach Tim Hankinson and the third member of our team, Hayden Partain, and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here this evening on Valley Sports. San Antonio FC and Tulsa, longtime rivals for the first 5 years of each other's existence since coming into USL play back in 2016. Now in different conferences as Tulsa has moved to the Central Division in the Eastern Conference. That being said, this is the 14th overall meeting. SAFC has never lost here at home to Tulsa. 5 wins and a couple of draws.
Yeah, I mean, we really have had some dominance. And like I said, after the last game, you really want to sense, you want to feel, it's got to be running through your veins that this is our house and we're not going to lose here. And the team has been playing that way. So it's very exciting to see tonight and how they come out, and can we be consistent in replicating that type of scoring prowess and general play.
There's a look at Alan Marcina. He is on the verge of leading San Antonio FC to back-to-back playoffs, something that this club has never done in its history. Michael Insian, in his third year, also on the verge of leading FC Tulsa to back-to-back playoff appearances, something that they've never done in their history either.
Well, and we see tonight a very classic and disciplined Tulsa playing a 4-4-2. 4 across the back, 4 across the midfield, playing flat. And then DaCosta, who's sometimes played in the center midfield as a playmaker, has moved up top with Johnson, the Jamaican international that has such power going forward, and DaCosta with his playmaking ability means it's something that our center backs are really going to have to stay close to and pay attention to. 12
returnees from last year's Tulsa team, so there's some familiarity for those here in San Antonio that watched Tulsa come to Toyota Field twice a year ago, as Justin Dillon unable to get on the end of that service. The rookie Austin Wormel in the net. Wormel, the 23-year-old who went to Rogers State College in Oklahoma in his first professional season. Primarily the backup to keeper Sean Lewis, although this is his 12th appearance of the season. There's a foul whistled on Marcus Epps, and as Tulsa will reset here. And a Tulsa club that does have a lot of talent up front, Coach, as you indicated. They're a team that can certainly score 39 goals, but on the other side, they're a team that's given up 43 goals this season, which has them tied for 20th overall in the championship.
And that's probably the difference between San Antonio and Tulsa right now, is Tulsa's just given up, you know, an additional 10 goals over what we have. And yet the scoring has been fairly close, fairly equal in that regard. But that tight defense is the difference maker when you talk about those final places in the standings. And San Antonio has done a much better job in defending its house.
Elvis Osmanovic will award the free kick here. Cardoni looks on. Tulsa winless in their last 5 matches. 3 defeats and a couple of draws, coming off a 2-1 loss at home against El Paso last Saturday night.
Dangerous angle, dropping a ball just over that line of defenders.
And it's headed on and parried away with the fingertips by Matt Cardoni. Looked like it was Matt Sheldon coming across the top of the 6-yard box. Got a piece of that one.
Great save by the Beard. He came up big that time. Don't want to go down a goal early against a team like Tulsa.
It was Matt Sheldon, number 13, who did catch that header right across the top of the 6. And a great save by Cardoni early here in the opening minutes of this one.
Good clearance. Back in the same direction that the ball was served, keeping it out of the danger areas. Seems like we had a game a couple of games ago where we headed it right back out towards the top of the 18, and it was hit back in for a goal against, and that shows they've gone over the tape and taken that lesson to heart.
Avian Flanagan playing it out wide, conceded in the middle of the park. Here's Gallegos working the combination with Nathan as he gets forward, clearly playing with a lot of confidence after a couple of goals last Sunday. He gets the ball back, gives it a go that's deflected, and lands at the feet of Flanagan, and he'll turn it out across the touchline.
Great effort by Nathan to stay with the play. Ball bobbling around and looking for the second and third chances to retain possession and make something happen.
Acosta is trying to find possession. Lands back to the feet of Courtney Ford. Ford making his 10th appearance since coming on loan from Colorado Rapids. Of course, he'd gone more than 3 years without appearing in a match, dealing with significant injuries. And it's been nothing short of a renaissance for the 25-year-old from Greeley, Colorado, who is a Rapids homegrown product and has, I think, certainly shown the brass in Colorado who've been watching these matches that they've got a player who's ready to come back to them probably full-time next season.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell when players come back from injuries like that, and it takes them a couple of years, and they get their game back to this level, the mental toughness and the ambition, the hunger that player has to be a top pro is just running through him. And we're the beneficiary right now, because since he's come in, that defense has looked so much more solid than we looked earlier prior to his arrival.
Courtney Ford and Mitchell Tainer both arriving at the end of August for San Antonio FC. Mitchell Tainer not in the lineup tonight, getting the night off. And Mathieu Duplan take his spot out there on the left side. And you've also got Sam Gleadle out playing on the left side tonight, opposite Connor Maloney in Alan Marcina's formation. Interchanging things. PC is out again tonight, listed as out with a lower body injury. He was not listed on the injury report last Sunday, but he's dealing with a nagging lower body issue. Sheldon has to flick it to himself, and Gleadle plays it back out.
I think that matchup is going to be fun to watch all night, because Gleadle and Sheldon are similar type players, very athletic, very pacey, both physically very fit, and that's the way they like to play, is a fitness game, running at you all the time.
Gallegos was looking in Dylan's direction with the service, and it's headed away back to Duplan. Duplan. Outfield, Gallegos and Duplan converged on the opening goal for San Antonio on Sunday. That was after, you remember, Coach, Memphis got on the board in the 22nd minute on a beautiful cross from Kyle Murphy. But San Antonio responded 8 minutes later and never looked back after that.
Yeah, we were on our game that night, and even if we gave up something, we were ready to take it right back. And that resiliency, that kind of reaction is what you want to see from your team. Because come playoff, there's going to be a time you're down a goal or a mistake is made. It's how you react. What actions do you take after that that's going to show the winner at the end of the day.
Abu, left-footed outswinger here with the service. You don't usually see Mohamed Abu take corners. But again, with PC, Cam Lindley, both out. Lindley's on the bench tonight, not starting again. And you try to find some other players who can take set pieces and corners.
Yeah, it's been a challenge without PC, you know, in the lineup, and having a left footer like him, like Abu, gives you a chance to swing it out towards the runs of your strikers. So obviously, again, things they've analyzed and have been working on.
Gleadle. Courtney Ford off his back foot. And rides out. There'll be a throw awarded here to FC Tulsa. Tulsa in their away whites trimmed in orange. San Antonio FC in their home black kits in the checkered red and white trim. Courtney Ford, or Jasser Kamiri rather, getting forward, heading that one as Dylan volleys it along, and Austin Wormel.
That's what you want to see from your defenders. You see a service, an entry pass into one of their forwards, and as a defender, you don't want to stay behind your mark. You want to be able to jump in front of them and intercept that pass. Very well done and cleanly done. No fouls, just interception.
Marlon Santos over there on the left side. Momentarily with an opportunity. You see Jason Johnson playing in the normal number 9 role that he would occupy. It's been a nice addition for Tulsa. Really, for whatever reason, Coach couldn't get into the lineup in the mix in Austin, but since coming over here to Tulsa, he's got a goal. He's made 7 starts, and he's been a productive part of Michael Incian's lineup.
Yeah, you know, if you look at his history, because he's had so many stops, both here in San Antonio and Chicago Fire, Pittsburgh, Houston, but it was in Phoenix, the best team in the league. He ended up having 25 goals over his time there, and that really set his reputation up. He just has not been able to refine that form, and that could have to do with the kind of service he's getting that maybe he got in Phoenix that he hasn't been able to replicate here.
There's 31 goals in 145 USL matches for the 30-year-old who was drafted 13th overall by Houston Dynamo back in 2013.
Well, the thing I like about him, and you know, I coached in Jamaica, he comes from a small village in Jamaica called Happy News. That's the name of the town. And anyone who comes from Happy News has got my thumb up. Good luck.
And another service here. Here's Level Moloto over the ball. Moloto, longtime USL elite. Service in is headed out. Moloto spending time in Nashville. Swope Park Rangers, now Sporting Kansas City 2. He began his career in Pittsburgh. He's in his second year with Tulsa. San Antonio will take the throw. Glito.
Yeah, speaking of Moloto, we talked about DaCosta and Johnson up top playing the twin strikers. But Cabato and Moloto playing like a double pivot in there, very much like you used to see Manchester United play with their two center midfielders with Keane and Scholes. And so they're going to sit in there, great athletes, ball winners, keep the possession simple, and make sure nothing can come down the middle.
Cabato played last year with RGV. His first season with Tulsa. DaCosta will take it away from Glito. Moloto with the turn. Rodrigo DaCosta. 9 goals on the season, ties him with Dario Suarez. 22 goals in 76 career matches with Tulsa for DaCosta.
And you can see his role tonight, even though he started with his presence up top. Sheldon makes the move to push up along Johnson. It allows, when he goes up, for DaCosta to come back into the midfield, both wide, centrally, and just find the ball, get his feet on the ball so he can play make and do what he's there to do.
If you've been watching FC Tulsa, it's a little bit of a different look from Michael Insian than over the last few weeks. A lot of the regulars that have normally been in the lineup, especially on the back end, when you think of the likes of Moto Jadama, Jorge Corrales, not in the starting lineup tonight, not in the 18, neither is Eric Bird, a holding midfielder. So, Coach, when you have the run of form like Tulsa has, winless in 5, I know it's close to playoff time, but you got to find something that works, because you got to clinch that spot before you start to think about matchups and the ideal lineup that you want to have.
Well, and you know, playing on the road is tough, and it could be that even though they're in a fragile position, they are in a playoff position, but they can't drop the rest of their games. So this could be a night where they're saying, let's go with a fresh crew, give some guys an opportunity, but take care of our business at home back in Tulsa, where we know we can win and we play great with our very best team, and know that we can build the points to secure a spot from there. But the psyche of a coach and what goes into the thinking of a lineup, always a mystery.
Cabato turns it out wide to Avian Flanagan. Flanagan was selected 29th overall by FC Cincinnati in this past spring's Major League Soccer Super Draft, rookie out of South Florida. On loan here for the season. Cabato. Nice combination with Johnson getting forward, returning the ball back. Jason Johnson, top of the 18, tries to give it a go, blocked by Courtney Ford.
It's a good effort, good combination. Dangerous to get the shot off, but what I like about it is that we read the danger of it early enough that players collapsed on it and got their boots stuck in and were able to make the block.
And Cabato comes away with the ball again, and it's Johnson, edge of the 18, with a cross is behind his running target there in DaCosta. That's Sheldon in the mix too. Sheldon is normally right back, is at least what they list him as, but I've seen him more this season get forward, not only as an attacking midfielder, but sometimes playing as a right wing forward too at times for this club. So a lot of versatility for the 29-year-old Matt Sheldon, who was in his 3rd season here with Tulsa.
Yeah, and again, as I pointed out a second ago, it seemed like they have an action they look for where Sheldon pushes up high as the second forward and from a wide position and moving more centrally, and that frees up DaCosta to not be picked up by the center backs and followed into the midfield, hoping to find his feet free where he can get on the ball and again play make. So something of a pattern we're seeing in Sheldon and DaCosta's movement.
You see Courtney Ford down on the field getting some attention. Well, we mentioned, Coach, that San Antonio FC and FC Tulsa both in the driver's seat to clinch a playoff spot for the 2nd consecutive season. Ironically, as you take a look at these two clubs who both came into the USL in 2016, they've had almost identical histories. Take a look at this. They have qualified in the playoffs in the same seasons, and they have been out of the playoffs in the same season. And the one year that San Antonio made it to the 2nd round, 2017, they beat Tulsa 2-1 here at Toyota Field.
I wonder if those years they both didn't make the playoffs, whether they had anything to do with knocking each other out.
Well, for Tulsa, I mean, it's funny. You go back to their years going back and forth. They've been some dreadful franchises where they've been at the bottom of the Western Conference. 2017 was a 500 season, but then 2018 only won 3 times. Got outscored by 41. And then last year, a really impressive squad put together by Michael Encian, finishing second in the group behind San Antonio FC, who really ran away with the group. SAFC and Tulsa split the 3 meetings, with each side winning once and both playing to a draw as well. San Antonio winning here 2-0 in August of last year, and Tulsa winning the last meeting between these sides 1-0 on a goal at the death by Eric Bird. That was played at 1OK Field in Oklahoma.
Yeah, Dan, and the other thing that I think is fun about this is that when you get 2 teams from 2 cities that have a very, very long history of professional soccer in their towns, like with Tulsa, the Tulsa Roughnecks, going back to the 1970s and the old NASL, and the same thing for San Antonio, that even though some of the names have been tweaked and crests have been adjusted, it's still the city against city that we see in this rivalry, and it's been a great rivalry.
And that's one of, I think, the unfortunate parts of SAFC moving over to the Mountain Division. And the conference alignment is taking teams like OKC and Tulsa out of the Western Conference, putting them in the East in the Central Division, because those were already built in rivalries against San Antonio. Here's Gleedle, left unattended. Gleedle looking at that back post and knocked aside by Rommel. It'll be a corner awarded to San Antonio, their second of the match, as Sam Gleedle was looking to that far post.
No, I agree with you. Rivalries are so important, but in a young league, well, let's watch this. Good strike, trying to find that far post. But in a young league and an expanding league, you know, there will be conference adjustments again, and that rivalry may be resumed. And on a night like tonight, we certainly get a full feel for it.
Headed out of danger, and then Gleedle catches it off the side of his foot, stepping forward. And that allows Marlin to get forward here. And immediately concedes possession to Marcus Epps. Epps celebrated his 100th career match in USL on Sunday. One of his best matches of the season. Didn't score, but assisted 2 of the 4 goals. And his run of form has been brilliant, really, over the last month or so.
It has. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at his seasons with other teams as a part of that 100-match performance. But some of his best matches clearly have been with San Antonio. He's been such an essential player in assisting and goal scoring, athleticism, one-on-ones, as well as the full responsibility to get back and defend and help his teammates. He's been brilliant.
And tonight, if Chris Lemma, who's on the bench for SAFC, makes an appearance in this match, it too would be his 100th career match in USL play. Very aggressive SAFC squad here once again, similar to the match against Memphis. As that's off of Jasser Kamiri.
Again, Kamiri showing that he's more interested in denying the player, intercepting, stepping in front of the opponent, rather than letting that opponent bring it down and turn into a one-on-one foot race. So well done.
If you didn't watch the match on Sunday, Kamiri was assessed a second yellow card and then a red for a foul inside the box, which was awarded as a penalty to Memphis. But San Antonio FC appealed that second yellow. We saw it on the replay. Didn't look as egregious on the replay as perhaps what was seen in live action. Good on the pro referees. They get together with the disciplinary committee and they rescind the yellow, thus rescinding the red, and that allows Kamiri to get back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, it's our version of VAR. You know, VAR is being able to take a second look at it as a committee this time after the fact. And I'll tell you, in my experience, Dan, it is very rare that they overturn cards like that. But in this case, it was the right decision, and good for Kamiri that he played the action clean and was able to get that benefit back, that he's not going to be put under that card pressure and miss this so important game.
Jasser making his 14th appearance of the season. He's spent some time on the shelf with injury, much like a lot of SAFC players on the back end have this season. Marcus Epps gets forward on that far touchline. Connor Maloney has got a chance. His drive is over goal.
Yeah, just got to bring those shots down. That's purely physical discipline and keeping, you know, for a right-footed player, your left shoulder down, left-footed player, your right shoulder, and controlling your follow-through. too often players swipe at the ball so hard that they lose control of their follow-through, and that often decides the direction of the shot.
Well, the good thing is that we've seen Connor Maloney in more aggressive, offensive-minded positions here over the last few matches or so, and that's given him a chance, just like we saw there, to have a free look at the goal.
It is. He's been great to get back. Such a soldier of the game.
And the flag is up here. As Jason Johnson in an offside position. As we're in the 21st minute, 0-0. And again, we are watching what's going on tonight in Colorado Springs in a match that preceded this one by a half hour. RGV, Colorado Springs. Really, you can look at it both ways. An RGV loss or a draw, and a San Antonio FC victory puts SAFC in the playoffs as Epps getting forward, dribbling inside the box, slides to Gallegos, to the back post, had Nathan there. All he needed to do was get his right foot on it. It was in the net, but he just was a split second too late.
I don't know how his boot missed that ball. What a great effort by Epps, and a continued effort by Gallegos to get that ball across.
Yeah, well.
But we've seen that moment so many times where balls are sent through the side of the 6 and they come out the other side, and players have got to be more aggressive to slide there, just like sliding into home plate. You got to slide right through the 6-yard box and make sure that that ball does not pass through the 6.
And considering how aggressive Nathan is when it comes to scoring, it's rare to see him, I don't want to say give up on the ball like he did there, but just to not continue his follow through, just to be in that position almost as he was expecting Gallegos to put it in himself.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take the risk. You have to anticipate and be ambitious and take the risk to slide through the box.
Let's check in with the third member of our team, Hayden Partain, down on the field. Good evening, Hayden.
Yeah, to touch on what you're talking about, Nathan falling on the back stick. Yeah, for a goal scorer, it needs to be instinctual here. You know, he can't see the ball, but to follow all the way to the post to make sure that there's no, pathway for the ball to slip through, he needs to focus on making sure he's there to put the ball away.
Epps, or rather Abu, ballooning that one to the back post, and how about Jasser Kamiri getting a little athletic there inside the box. And might have caught one of the Tulsa players with those acrobatics on the bicycle kick there.
It's always creates a dangerous situation, and you're lucky if you get away with it. But when you do the bicycle kick in a crowd like that, and your foot is kicking towards the ball, and all the heads are up there looking to maybe get a nod on it ahead of themselves, there's always a high probability that there's going to be some contact with the player's boot and the player's head. So hopefully he's okay, and we move on in the match.
Yeah, obviously not intentional, as you saw Elvis Osmanovic talking to Jasser here. Let's see who he catches. Well, right there, yeah, you can see on the side. I think that was Johnny Fenwick he got. Yeah, it was. Catches the former SAFC defender Johnny Fenwick on the side of his face there with that boot.
And most of the time, they'll call that as a foul that's just a dangerous play, because the player ended up lifting his foot up near a player's face or head, and that's a dangerous play situation. Not a yellow card scenario, but definitely a foul.
Johnny Fenwick, the 26-year-old from Newcastle, England, was a part of the 2019 San Antonio FC squad. Only appeared in 3 matches. Last year went to Las Vegas, where he was a much more utilized player on the back end. 25 career matches. This is his second start for Tulsa and his 8th overall appearance. Played at High Point collegiately. And when Darren Powell was the head coach here in San Antonio, Darren was very familiar with those North Carolina colleges, heavily recruiting and scouting them, and was well aware of Johnny Fenwick's role down there.
Yeah, Darren was at Elon, which is just down the road from High Point. So, like you said, the familiarity, and coaches love to know what they're getting into and who they're getting.
A foul on Connor Maloney. As he upends Marlin there. Well, San Antonio FC, the abundance of fouls, and it looks like Connor's been assessed a yellow as well too. That's something that's been tailing them all season. They're number 1 in the league in fouls conceded coming into play tonight, 435. Already a bunch more added here in the first half as this ball gets through harmlessly past Matt Cardoni.
You can't say they're not competing. You know?
You definitely cannot say that. That yellow for Connor Maloney, his third of the season, is SAFC's 79th caution of the year. They're 2 back of New York Red Bulls, 2 for the most cautions in the league as well. Rare gaff by Marcus Epps, just below us. Bradley Bourgeois will throw it in. Bourgeois played in the playoff match in 2017. This is his 3rd year with Tulsa, the 27-year-old. 2 other players on the roster, coach, on the back end with Bourgeois, and Jorge Corrales and Moto Jadama, not here tonight, also played in that match in 2017. And the 3 of them together have been running as the 3 of the 4 on the back line for most of the year for Michael Ensian. So just to show you, even though we're 4 years removed from that playoff match, it's still has its history here with Tulsa and the players they have on the field. As DaCosta gets an opportunity, and DaCosta puts it in! Rodrigo DaCosta off the giveaway for SAFC. Beats Matt Cardoni to the back post for his 10th goal, and Tulsa is on the board first here in the 27th minute.
Well, Dan, we talked about DaCosta, how he's drifting from the forward position into the midfield where he can get on the ball, turn, and he makes the run towards the top of the 18, and no one really addresses it. We did a much better job before that, but no one is seeing the urgency, and he has a chance to get his head up and look to bend that ball into the far post. A brilliant shot, but just a lack of urgency and recognition by our defenders.
So DaCosta takes over the team lead in scoring. He shared it with Dario Suarez coming into tonight's match. That's his 10th goal, and it's his 23rd goal with FC Tulsa, what is tonight his 77th appearance with the club in his 3rd year. The Brazilian was first on the club in chances, came into tonight tied for 20th in the league in the Golden Boot race. And for the 2nd consecutive match, SAFC starts behind.
We've seen this very, very recently. And we've got to be able to show, the lessons that we've learned and up the intensity and quality in order to create the shots that are going to equalize this thing before halftime.
San Antonio had the great response last Sunday. Just 8 minutes after the goal by Memphis, Deplan and Gallegos hook up for the equalizer. We went into the halftime locker room even at 1 before SAFC erupted for 3 goals rather in the second half. Deplan going to steer that one forward. But maybe more of a desperate Tulsa team though tonight, coach, than what we saw out of Memphis on Sunday, because Tulsa's run of form has not been very good, as we said, winless in their last 5 coming into tonight.
Well, teams that have had success with the same lineup can find themselves going a bit flat. Either they take their positions and their playing time for granted, or have gotten a little bit too comfortable. And I think that giving the chance to a few other players that bring hunger, ambition, they know a good showing tonight can suddenly put them in consideration to be in that lineup come playoff time. So they're playing very ambitiously.
And again, Tulsa's never won here in San Antonio. Winless in 7 matches, which includes that 2-1 playoff loss back in 2017 when they were the Tulsa Roughnecks. There's Matt Sheldon steering it into the middle of the field. The goal scorer DaCosta. Back to Levo Moloto. Will switch the play across. Maybe on Flanagan. Flanagan, good speed there on that left side. Takes it all the way himself. Lands back to Johnson to the return ball to Flanagan. Trying to fight off Connor Maloney. Will be whistled for the foul.
Dan, one of the things that San Antonio is going to have to watch, you know, whereas Tulsa has been playing 2 pivots, 2 central midfielders side by side. So if one has to go deal with something, the other one is still fairly central. If you look at Abu and playing with Gallegos in front of him, Gallegos is more attacking, so Abu has to do most of the defending himself. And he starts out with a withdrawn DaCosta. But we saw in that last play, he gets drawn wide to deal with a problem, and DaCosta finds himself completely free with no one in a position to mark him unless Gallegos starts returning when he sees Abu having to defend wide. So DaCosta is going to get more time on the ball in dangerous situations unless we solve that.
And after the opening goal for Tulsa, they continue to press, looking for a second one. They've certainly not settled back. I think they're aware of San Antonio's prowess from the attack standpoint, that 1 goal is probably not going to be enough for them tonight.
No, and you look at their back four, you've seen almost no advanced play by the wingbacks. That back four is staying home with the two holding pivots sitting in front. So that's a block of 6 that is not looking to open up, and that positions them very well to stop counterattacks that were San Antonio has really shown so proficiently breaking on the turnover. So that block of 6 is going to be tough to break down, and we're going to have to really work on our possession and moving the ball quicker to help dissect that to create better chances for ourselves.
It's the 11th time this season San Antonio has conceded the opening goal. Last week against Memphis was the first time in 10 matches that they won when conceding first. So at least they have something to go off of, despite, again, falling behind 1-0 here in the opening half. Bradley Bourgeois. Matt Sheldon upfield. Running on Duplan. Sheldon. Over to the far side for Marlin. Working with DaCosta. And Marlin heavy on that touch there. DaCosta was diagonally playing off outside the box.
On that last defensive effort, we saw Ford leave his back line and come all the way into the midfield to put pressure on one of their midfielders. And this is something they're going to have to sort out at halftime, because when you come out that far, if you go more than 5 steps away from your back four, you're really opening the door. If you stay within that 5 steps, like check to a guy to put pressure on him quickly, then the door is only halfway open. You can close it back up and keep that back four fairly solid.
Another turnover for San Antonio in the middle of the park. Sheldon putting it through the wickets there of Marcus Epps. And now running is Bourgeois. And overlap there, Gleadle will turn it out.
It's still uncanny to me how Gleadle and Sheldon, just for me, they came out of the same mold. They're so similar in style and what they bring to the game. That matchup tonight is just wonderful to see. You wonder, is one going to get the advantage, or they're just going to cancel each other's games out?
Sheldon on the return back from Bourgeois. Gleadle will concede the corner. Will be the first of the match here for Tulsa. San Antonio has surrendered 4 set-piece goals on the season, 6 to their own. And it's the visitors who've jumped ahead 1-0 here in the first half on Acosta's 10th of the year in the 27th minute. Lebo Moloto, the right-footed outswinger in this situation. Comes to the top of the box, and Marlin couldn't handle it, and Gallegos and Gleadle are off to the races, but Kembo Kambato played that fantastic.
Brilliant stopping that break, because we had 5 players breaking on 2. That if we had gotten that next pass off, it would have been big trouble for the Tulsa defense.
Moloto concedes the turnover in the middle. Nathan had to return back from his offside position, never did get back on fully. They call him off.
I'm not so sure. I think the second defender, Bourgeois, had him still in an onside position, but only a replay will set us free on that one.
It's Bradley Bourgeois getting forward quickly here as we see again. You see Nathan slightly offside. Bourgeois is taking it coast to coast. You're right, Coach, that second defender was to be in a position that allowed the man to stay on.
Yes, I thought he was on looking at the replay.
Headed wide of goal by Sheldon. And a throw for San Antonio.
Now, if we criticize the referee from the booth up here, can we get fined?
Yes, as far as I know.
That's good to know. My wife appreciates knowing that too.
That's why I'm going to let you criticize the refs, and I'm going to stay quiet.
Dan, I got fined one time big, $5,000 back in Major League for criticizing referees, and I learned my lesson.
If I get fined for criticizing referees, I'm sleeping in another room when I go home tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely can put at the end of the season a dent in the Christmas budget.
Gallegos settles. Gallegos gives it a go. He's so crafty. And once he turns on it, it's uncanny for him, regardless of where he is on the field, that he can turn one loose.
It is. I mean, his quickness and, his first touch doesn't need a second touch. his first touch sets up the shot.
Just give him a little bit of space, and he's golden. By the way, speaking of golden, Leo Torres, who, if you missed the news, he's been on loan for Real Monarchs SLC to get some more playing time, and today scored not only his first goal, but his second goal, both in the first half. And go check it out on the highlights. His first goal was an absolute banger. Did all the work from himself, and about 25, 26 yards away, just drilled one to the upper corner of the net.
So exciting for a young player like that to make a mark on a game and have your teammates back home hear about it and be featured. So very exciting for him and his development.
I immediately asked Managing Director Tim Holt, I said, can Leo Torres come back for the postseason as Gallegos is fouled? And he said, unfortunately not, because the rosters are frozen. So
it's always the challenges and the gambles of putting players on loan, the timing of it. And yet to develop him for our future, we don't have a choice but to give him the games that he needs to make sure that if it's not at the end of this year, then he's ready for next year to come into preseason, a whole different player, ready to produce goals and assists for us. So good for the future.
And congratulations again to Leo Torres. And it turned out to be, again, a huge victory for Real Monarchs in San Antonio because, as we said before, it puts SAFC in the driver's seat here tonight to potentially clinch a playoff spot. Now, they got to take care of their own business first here by beating Tulsa, but they get some help from an SAFC old hand. As Nathan over the ball after the foul. You see Nathan's eyes going right for the net. And sends one up and parried away by Wormel. Read it well. Ball curved, but Austin Wormel was there to make the save.
You could see in Nathan's eyes, he's thinking, number 11, number 11.
They'll give San Antonio the third corner here. Abu's taking all three of them. That's headed by Courtney Ford. He gets forward this time and puts it wide of the cage.
It's a nice driven ball. You know, he didn't try to do too much with it. Didn't try to bend it. Just drove it on a nice arc or a straight line that allowed Ford with his strong vertical to go up and challenge for it. What you've got to do with the other players in the box, though, when they see Ford go up, do not stand and wait to see where the ball's action goes. You have to be running to marks, be in the right place at the right time. And I just think we were a little bit stationary ball watching in that.
Second half just underway at Widener Field in Colorado Springs, 0-0 between Colorado Springs switchbacks and RGV. DaCosta, he strips Abu of possession. San Antonio gets it back. Nathan turning, heavy with the touch there with the left foot, as Maloto will take it. And Maloto, Nathan doesn't give up on the play either, comes back with the ball, stripping Maloto of it. Epps pushing out to the far side. Justin Dillon back to Epps. Epps service in, and Johnny Fenwick cancels that one out.
You know, you're talking before about our guys that are getting close to that 100-game mark. But a guy like Maloto, who's got over 150 games in the USL, you can see his experience, the way he not just won the ball, but came out of it. Didn't just destroy the play and leave a loose ball, but did just a great job of regaining that possession.
He's kind of on the verge of what I'd call USL royalty. 179 total games, 30 goals in this league, a long time.
Just brilliant, brilliant. Shows that experience.
Gallegos, Dillon. There's three collapse on him. Dillon able to get rid of the ball to Connor Maloney. Connor Maloney again, another go.
And, you know, going back to what you just said about Gallegos, so many games this season, I've had to be a little bit overly critical about Gallegos because three guys will collapse on him, and he would never release that pass. And that was a great example, you point out, of three guys collapse. He slips the pass, and it creates a great shooting opportunity. So knowing when to hold and when to release are so important for young players to gain in experience.
Cabato. Kamiri volleys it along. Maloto settles. As Flanagan out wide will take it with space. Marlon over there on that far touchline as he runs on Connor Maloney. Oh, nice move by Marlon Santos.
So quick.
And then maneuvers his way through 2 additional players. Although an errant ball there by DaCosta. Maloney doesn't get all of it on the clearance. Now DaCosta's going to end up with a service here, although a poor one right through the box. Heavy touch there from Bourgeois, although he knocks it away from Marcus Epps. Cabato keeps it moving. Top of the box, DaCosta through the wickets there of Jason Johnson. Cabato can't get on the end of it. Gallegos getting forward, looking for Nathan, trying to make that run. Johnny Fenwick just shadowing number 7 all night here.
I like the attempt to pass through the outside channel, because so often players try to force the ball directly into the run of, let's say, Nathan in that case. But when you play the pass directly to the player, the defender sees the pass, he sees the runner, and often can cut that out. When you play the pass through a different channel, even though it was a little bit too wide for Nathan to get to, it really can open an opportunity for the player and the pass to meet on the other side of that defender and put you in a breakaway position.
Nathan can't settle that at his feet. And that's off of DaCosta. Epps trying to spring Gleedle. That's a little bit too far for his reach. Numbers in this half, San Antonio driving the possession to 52%.
Well, and you know, one of the things I hope they talk about at halftime, I think that Nathan's been very active. But we really have not found a way to play Dylan into this game. And, you know, you almost forget about it. And he may be doing a quiet job in drawing defenders away from Nathan, giving Nathan the space to run. But we'd like to see him get a touch on the ball and play the target and bring midfielders forward.
Bourgeois and Nathan both hit the deck. We play on, says Elvis Osmanovic. Nathan thought his run was impeded there by Bourgeois. Osmanovic says otherwise. San Antonio has outshot Tulsa 9-6, but only one shot has been on target, and that was the one taken by Nathan off the set piece that Hormel had to parry away.
Yeah, I think that Tulsa has been very well schooled as to who they have to play physically. I think every time Gallegos gets the ball, you're seeing those 2 central midfielders collapse on him. And every time Nathan is getting the ball, you're also seeing defenders, not just one, but other players collapsing on him. So making it very difficult for some of our key guys. And that's, I think, one of the reasons Epps has to come all the way back deep in the midfield to get a touch on the ball, because he can't get a touch higher up in a more dangerous position.
Well played for DaCosta, although his pass broken up. And Abu fouled by Rodrigo DaCosta.
Great footwork, cutbacks by Abu to separate himself from the defenders and keep the play moving.
Good ball from Epps. Gallegos in a battle there. Gallegos throws his man Marlin down. A foul on Gallegos. Been an entertaining first half, Coach, and San Antonio is playing with a level of pace as almost a team that is desperate themselves for 3 points here tonight.
Yeah. Well, I think that you don't want to play with panic or nervousness, and you don't want to be rushing your play. You want to find that balance in your game. But both of these teams, in the back of their head, clearly have urgency, that they both need these 3 points to start locking in that playoff spot.
Tulsa begins the night 4th in the Central. They were 1 back of Memphis. 4 points up on Oklahoma City, although with a game in hand against OKC Energy, as the ball awarded to Matt Cardoni. So in a pretty good position, would be in a much more formidable position if they came out of San Antonio with all 3 points here tonight.
Right, and certainly talking with the coaches, in points or no points, goals or no goals tonight, you want to go rolling into the playoffs, which both of these teams will, in form, with your game sharp and dangerous and defending as a unit and being on the same page back there. So playing well at this point with only a couple of more opportunities to get out there is so vital for both of these teams to roll into the playoffs on their game.
We'll have 3 minutes of added time here at the end of the first half. See if San Antonio can find a late equalizer. Epps. Again, Nathan the run. That's a great ball. Wormel well off his line. As he challenges the runner, Nathan. That's going to be a foul. Cabato, and will be shown yellow.
It's the right call. It's the right card. And in all actuality, it's the right foul. Keeper was way off his line. Gallegos knew it. If he had not been taken down, I'm sure Gallegos is thinking long shot over the keeper.
And it ends up being a pretty good foul if you're Tulsa, for not only that reason, but also where the ball is placed, because this is well beyond the scoring opportunity spot of the field here. So Abu is over the ball right now, trying to set something up.
Yeah, not dangerous from a shooting standpoint, but still dangerous from dropping that ball in somewhere between the 6-yard box and the penalty mark. And this is always such a hard thing for defenders. Do I hold? Do I drop? When do I go with that runner? And how can I regain position, goal side and ball side, and look for clearance?
Osmanovic walking back over, marking everyone in place. Here we go. Abu, the delivery to the back post. Volleyed along. Dillon trying to get up, still loose. And served out. It'll be a corner here awarded to San Antonio. Boy, you have 3 SAFC players on the ground all trying to take a crack at it between Courtney Ford, Dillon, and Nathan inside the 6-yard box.
50-50 ball inside the 6-yard box is a scramble. Nathan swings. Plan swings. Great effort, though. Everyone going after it.
Abu again on the service in swinging position this time. That's a good bending ball in, but headed out of danger. Connor Maloney.
Keep it down. Keep it down.
And not the best delivery to the far side. Allows Tulsa to clear up field and catch the breath a little bit as we come upon the end of the allotted 3 minutes of added time. And it's like Moloto has gone to ground.
Yeah, I was looking at Maloney on his run across the field there, thinking, all right, he's going to shoot again. He's had 2 previous shots way above the bar. We know that's not the strength of his game, but you can make it a strong point in your game. It's a matter of every day after practice, just 10 shots, making sure you keep it below the bar. No more than 10, because you don't want to force an injury in your quad or leg, but just work on your technique, and eventually it's going to catch up, so those shots stay hard and low and eventually pay off for you. Because he certainly gets that opportunity coming from the right and cutting in for those shooting chances.
Moloto attended to. San Antonio with just 3 matches remaining in the regular season. They'll play their final midweek and final road match of the season coming up Wednesday night when they go to Albuquerque to take on New Mexico United. And then they're back home for the final 2 matches of the season next Saturday against Austin Bold, and then the final match of the regular season against Colorado Springs, which very well could be for who finishes in second and who finishes in third in the Mountain Division, and with that a home field playoff spot. We'll take a look at the playoff bracket, what it looks like coming up in the second half, just to give you an idea of who San Antonio potentially could face depending on where they finish. A giveaway by Jasser Kamiri. Here's Marlin. He's got plenty of daylight getting forward here, trying to cut it back and defend it away, and then Marlin committing the foul on Connor Maloney.
You did, Dan, you just can't give away those entry passes when that midfield of Tulsa just sitting there picking it off and now countering against you, with less than a minute left on the clock. We've got to be safer and smarter with how we play out of the back.
Well, San Antonio will go to the locker room down a goal. We'll look for finding the equalizer and trying to continue to push forward here toward a playoff spot, but they're on the wrong end of a 1-0 scoreline here at halftime. Rodrigo DaCosta's 10th of the season, and the 27th minute has the visitors from Tulsa on the board here tonight at Toyota Field in the battle of long-time Western Conference rivals. Now in different conferences, Tulsa with a lead, 1-0. Halftime here on Bally Sports.
Hello, this is Cornell with Frost Bank.
Hi there, this is Terry with Frost.
Good evening, this is Franklin.
This is Robert with Frost.
Hello, this is Rosemary with Frost Bank.
When ordinary people do extraordinary things, like becoming an organ donor, you give the gift of life. Without my brother donating his kidney and the world-class surgeons at Methodist Hospital Specialty and Transplant, I'm not sure I'd be alive today.
If you never have to donate an organ, you're lucky. But if you get to, you're lucky.
You can become an organ donor too by registering at sahealth.com/organ donor.
You got a fast one there.
Just can't get him to slow down.
This class will help with that.
We get it. You got it. We're PetSmart.
Texas is known for many things, yet one of the best kept secrets is where the steaks are hot and so are the slots. Down south along the border outside of Eagle Pass, the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel. The best gaming experience in the Southwest, where getting lucky is more than a feeling. It's a way of life. Book now. LuckyEagleTexas.com.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
Hey y'all, can we change up the chores?
Sorry, it's up to the wheel, man.
Oh yeah?
Hey, change the channel back.
Sorry, it's up to the wheel.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Around it comes Fox. Solignat, the back heel in! What a goal!
Luna is shot into the back goal.
Kuramoto has won it for OKC Energy FC. Oh, that is a brilliant goal from the substitute.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for our not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
At Raising Cane's, we know quality takes time, patience, and the best ingredients.
which is why every chicken finger we serve is cooked to order just for you. We never take shortcuts, but that doesn't mean you can't. Introducing an even easier way to order Cane's with our new app. Find your closest restaurant, customize your meal, pay, and schedule pickup. So next time, take it easy and order with the Raising Cane's app.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Hey, Spurs fans! At Conzone Plus, we want to hook you up with the best NBA experience you can possibly get. Upgrading your fan cave with the latest TVs, audio, and electronics is easy buckets. Plus, with our personalized approach to financing, you can get low payments over time, good credit, or building it. That's what we call nothing but net. The San Antonio Spurs always score big with Conzone Plus.
Going to lock down a spot as we welcome you back upstairs to the booth along with Tim Hankinson. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Coach, your thoughts on that opening 45 minutes?
I think both teams played with intensity. They played with purpose. Both of them created chances. Both of them ample number of shots, ample number of corners. But the inefficiency of putting the ball on target or in the accurate area has really let both teams down. And really, you look at Tulsa, the one chance they have on target is in the back of the net, and we just have to execute better.
Take a look at the highlights from that first half of play. And you mentioned chances for both teams, but were they on the net or were they not? This was a good one for Maloto and Sheldon. That's a great save from Matt Cardone to start it.
Cardone is, keepers, they have to be able to reach the length of their body. But when you can make up additional ground as these keepers have to get to those far corners, just brilliant goalkeeper play.
Connor Maloney had one of those chances right there, driving over net. This was probably San Antonio's best chance of the half. Gallegos turning it to the outside. Nathan just hesitates on his run.
We have to play more ambitiously. I mean, this is standard football around the world. The strikers have to go sliding in, making sure that ball does not get through their box.
Brilliant finish from DaCosta. Brilliant save from Austin Wormel right there, stopping Nathan's spin, and then a little chaos at the end of the half here as Tulsa able to get to the locker room still holding a clean sheet.
Yeah, but I'm excited because there are four of our players sitting in that box, the 6-yard box, hungry for that loose ball. And as long as you can play with hunger and ambition like that, you're going to find the back of the net.
Look at the numbers again. 10 shots for SAFC, only 1 on target, 2 for Tulsa. Possession's been moderately even. Aggressive San Antonio, as we always see 10 fouls there in that first half. And, SAFC coach, we mentioned before, they were in this position Sunday. The difference being they were able to respond right away, get the equalizer, and that goal drove their momentum, I think, in the second half. What's different now as you go into the second half, down a goal, and you got to find a way to get that equalizer?
I have to believe everyone all week is talking about making the playoffs. And you go into this game at home and thinking, we're going to do it right from the start. And you have to understand that it's a hard game to win against an opponent like Tulsa, who comes in here, also a playoff-oriented team. So I think it's regrouping. It's refocusing. It's don't worry about the talk of the playoffs. Let's just do what we do and make sure that our execution around the box is better.
Well, you and I are going to talk playoffs the next segment, even if the players aren't going to talk about it. We're going to show you the playoff structure and what's on the line for San Antonio FC tonight. Coming up as we roll along here, 1-0, Tulsa with a lead on Valley Sports.
Ve a donde te lleve tu lado salvaje.
Obtén 500 en efectivo o arrendatarios calificados arriendan una nueva Highlander L 2021 por $289 el mes. Toyota, vayamos juntos.
You can't predict an emergency, but have you thought about planning for one? Like, where's my closest ER? Does it take my insurance? And what is it rated? Is it worth waiting for an emergency to figure things out? At Methodist Healthcare, we've got you covered with 12 highly rated hospital-based and neighborhood ERs near you and 5 more opening in the next few months. Rest assured, your safety is our top priority. At Methodist Healthcare, your family.
It's true for PC.
And right now we've got 47 points and 44 goals. To be an elite team in this league like El Paso or Phoenix or Birmingham or Tampa, any of those teams have all surpassed that number. And we are so close to it right now, being one of the elite teams. But you got to do it. You got to put it on the park, and you got to get those results.
This is our final telecast on Valley Sports of the season. It's always great to have my friend Tim Hankinson with us on these telecasts, and we're going to leave you with some shots of Tim's playing days from South Carolina. Is this what we've got to take a look at here? Oh my goodness.
What have you done?
The Gamecocks.
God. That's like 1976.
Mid-70s. That's a good shot right there. You had a good, strong right foot.
I keep telling Gallegos, you got to keep that left shoulder down. Incredible. You guys certainly know how to embarrass me.
Ve a donde te lleve tu lado salvaje.
Obtén 500 en efectivo o arrendatarios calificados arriendan una nueva Highlander L 2021 por $289 el mes. Toyota, vayamos juntos.
You can't predict an emergency, but have you thought about planning for one? Like, where's my closest ER? Does it take my insurance? And what is it rated? Is it worth waiting for an emergency to figure things out? At Methodist Healthcare, we've got you covered with 12 highly rated hospital-based and neighborhood ERs near you and 5 more opening in the next few months. Rest assured, your safety is our top priority. At Methodist Healthcare, your family.
It's true for PC. Great save by Matt Cardone. Gallegos to the back post. San Antonio FC back once again with the lead. San Antonio FC Soccer on Valley Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Start of the second half at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC down 1 to FC Tulsa. No changes for either side as we begin things here in the second half of play. San Antonio. Will tonight be the night that they clinch a spot for the 3rd time in their history?
Well, I think
USL playoffs.
I think to do that, you know, that utilizing Dylan, getting him more involved as a target to take the attention off of Nathan so Nathan can break off those opportunities. And, you know, for the other team, we saw Marlon late. He's so quick, so dangerous, the young Brazilian winger, that finding a way to get him more involved in the game for them, I think, helps their chances tonight. But, you know, this is about San Antonio finding a way to first equalize.
Connor Maloney and Kembo Kambato both sitting on yellows as we begin things in the second half. Otherwise, everybody else is clean here to begin the second 45. Epps, Gallegos trying to break loose, and he does. And he keeps it moving. Cabato. Oh, Gallegos with the legs of Cabato hit the deck. Dylan able to throw Flanagan off the ball. Maloney back to Dylan, heavy touch. Connor Maloney unable to keep it in play.
Just her tremendous amount of desire and fight in all of those players down in the corner. Great effort.
Jose Gallegos. Well, he's done that a few times to opposing players over the course of his career.
Well, it's also fun to see. I mean, great creativity. But it's all about the determination to get that ball in the box and give your teammates a bite at it.
Maloney and Santos after the ball. Gallegos. Again, Cabato has been the target of Jose Gallegos throughout the match so far. This one able to open up Sheldon. DePlon defending him. Sheldon gets a low ball through for DeCosta, plays it off of Jasser Kamiri, and it'll be a corner awarded to Tulsa. Second corner of the match, DeCosta over to take it at the far stick.
It's been a little bit different tonight, you know, playing with the back four versus the three. And I felt like maybe our best lineups were really the 3-4-3, where we had three across the top and three across the back with four fighting through the midfield.
Gallegos flicks it out.
In the end, that doesn't have anything to do with putting your shot on target. You know, it's just simple details we have to do better.
Marlin. Across the face, a goal, and it comes out on the other side. Sam Gleadle able to keep it in play over there.
Such a dangerous ball through the six like that. You know, we've been critical of our own team not sliding through and making sure that ball doesn't get through, but there was same thing for Tulsa. So, but to put the probability of goal scoring in your favor, you have to take those chances.
Nathan. The errant ball looking for Marcus Epps. He was in a position if he wanted to try to bend a shot on goal, instead gave it up, and then in the run of play upended was Sheldon, although no foul. The ball will be awarded back to San Antonio. Well, if you're SAFC and Alan Marcina, you really don't have a tremendous amount of options on your bench tonight if you're looking for a goal scorer to come on here in the second half. Shannon Hopiau is out tonight with personal reasons. And so most of the players on the bench are either midfielders or defenders. Cam Lindley's, I guess, the best option in terms of a creator who could come on here at this point. But the guys on the field are going to be the guys who are going to have to get it done.
Right. I think you're talking about not so much who we have in substitution, but more position switching. I mean, if we needed to go and get Gallegos committed more as a full-time front runner, to play closer to goal into the defense, then clearly guys like Lindley could fill into a role like that. Same thing with Epps. Epps has played very withdrawn tonight. There's no reason we can't get him back into a winger spot, so he's closer to goal in a more dangerous position. So we may not have the striker coming off the bench, but we have adjustments I think we can make to progress the goal-scoring opportunities.
There's a good run by Bradley Bourgeois. Will draw the foul on Jasser Kamiri and give a big opportunity here for Tulsa. Rather, Jason Johnson making the run over there on the far side as he gets upended. Johnson will get back to his feet with the help from Bradley Bourgeois. Right just outside that 18-yard box. First good opportunity of the second half goes to Tulsa.
Yeah, it's a tough foul to give because your choice is either to put your leg out like a hurdle, the way Kamiri did, and give up the foul and they get the shot, or get your feet moving and run with him and force him into a wide position away from goal. It's
Maloto and DeCosta over the ball here. DeCosta's so crafty as he was taking it on goal himself, comes up in the air, punched away by Cardoni, and then dropped down, and Matt Cardoni's able to scoop it up.
Very, very dangerous box. He couldn't go for the catch, but he goes for the box, but boxes it down, leaving a 50-50 ball in the box, and we're lucky we got to it first. Got to do better at being able to box and parry those balls away and out of the danger area.
Connor Maloney handing off to Gallegos, again off his back foot. Gallegos not getting really the room tonight that I've seen him sometimes able to find those spaces to get some opportunities, and they collapse on him immediately.
Yeah, they've done their scouting. They know who he is. No surprises like there were in the first half of the season. And they're realizing if we can shut him down and make sure we can contain Nathan's runs, that they don't have as many weapons to turn to at that point.
Abu's got an opportunity and his shot blocked. And a corner awarded to San Antonio. Abu was in a favorable position there with his left to give that one a go, and it was blocked away from the keeper.
But you know, Dan, if they contain and collapse on Gallegos and they stay with Nathan's runs, then you start asking yourself, who do we go to next to look to scoring? And for me, it's Epps, but Epps has played so withdrawn tonight that he's really never been in maybe once in a dangerous position.
Punched away by Wormel, a foul committed inside by Kamiri.
And if we're not going to get service into the big man and Dillon, then really it's Epps. We've got to find a way to cover defensively so he can make a stronger commitment into the attack where he can play his one-on-ones and his little chip services and also get his shot away.
And the foul was on Duplan, rather 13, trying to climb the back there of Bradley Bourgeois, as you saw in the replay. Yeah, I think it's what's interesting when we've watched San Antonio FC throughout the year and the personnel that they've used. You know, sometimes when they've been at their best is when Epps has been out on that right side of the three attackers up top with Nathan and Gallegos in that 3-4-3 formation that they've been successful at. Although last week Epps playing in a similar withdrawn role was successful as a creator and setting up 2 goals. So tonight, not the same amount of success, but again, the issue is that, to your point, when your subs do come in, you're going to reposition players to try to put them in better positions. My guess is Lindley probably would go into the role that Epps is in right now. You drive Epps forward out or somebody else.
Well, you look at this side, without Epps on the right wing, it has opened up the channel for Maloney, who's the right back, and he's therefore going forward. But Maloney, I mean, even though he's an outstanding player for us, he does not have the offensive qualities that Epps does in that wing position. So we lose that wing talent of Epps, and we go for more of a power player that doesn't always get us quite the same quality of service that Epps would.
Well, here is Epps getting forward, and we'll earn a corner for SAFC, or no, it'll be off of Epps, and the ball back to Austin Wormel as we get set to cross into the 55th minute. And not that they need a goal scorer at this point, but one of the interesting options for Michael Encian on the Tulsa bench is the midfielder Joaquin Rivas, who has been away from the club for the past couple of weeks because he's been on international duty with El Salvador. And, Coach, he has started all 6 of the matches for El Salvador in their CONCACAF qualifying, including their first victory of this final round. And they defeated Panama 1-0 last week.
Well, and quite honestly, you know, coaches make decisions to bring a more defensive player on when you're leading 1-0 and you're on the road. That just seems to be a typical move. But to me, the way you keep San Antonio on their heels is to bring in the attacking threat in a guy like Rivas. And in my estimation, I hope they don't, because I think that will keep us in check and we will not get forward as much as we would if they brought a more defensive player in.
Marlin off the back heel there of Cabato. Marlin to the back post and was looking for the free header from Sheldon. And a foul whistle after the fact on Sheldon as he drove down Duplan.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Rivas would be quite a threat coming into the game. I think he usually plays on the right wing, freshening that up. And
He's 5 goals this year in his 17 appearances with Tulsa. And again, it's been kind of, again, the summer of World Cup qualifying. We've seen that with New Mexico and similar situation with a guy like Armando Moreno, who plays on that same El Salvador squad. That you lose some of your top talent for a couple of weeks at a time. But Rivas, after finishing up the recent run of games on Wednesday, is back here with his Tulsa squad. He could get a few minutes here in the second half to your point, to keep the pressure on SAFC's back line.
Yeah, I mean, when I had Carlos Valderrama, the Colombian, I used to always have some of my players ask me, why did I keep him on with a 1-goal lead? And I said, because none of their defenders...
Oh, Jose Gallegos! That's brilliant! Just tucks it in past Wormel into the corner, and San Antonio's leveled it at 1.
Incredible goal, incredible. The loft and the bend on that, perfect placement. Just out of the reach of the goalkeeper. And boy, did we need it.
In the 57th minute, looked like it was going to be more of a pass originally for Nathan, and it just bends past the keeper into the corner in the back of the net.
I don't think we need to ask Gallegos if that was a pass or not. We'll take that. It's a brilliant goal.
His 6th of the season, his 9th goal with SAFC. It's a big one. Levels the match at 1 here in the 57th minute.
Well, you know, both teams, if they come away with a point, it progresses their playoff opportunity, but no one's here to play for a point tonight. Both these teams are going to come after the full 3. It's going to be an exciting final 25 minutes.
Gallegos, Gladel, play the advantage. Gladel doesn't do well with that. They played the advantage. I think Alan Marcina wanted the set piece, though. He was not happy after the fact. Coming down the final 5 minutes in Colorado, Warmel. That rides off his foot in a terribly errant way. 5 minutes remaining in Colorado, 0-0. Colorado Springs and RGV. So again, if RGV fails to get 3, and San Antonio can come up with a second and hang on, SAFC would lock up their spot in the postseason.
And like we were talking about at halftime, get to that 50-point mark, which starts to put you in the elite. And that's when you start beating your chest in this league and knowing you belong and aren't just slipping into the playoffs.
And a collision there and a caution shown to Marlin. He'll go in the books in the 59th minute. It's his 9th caution of the season.
Yeah, cautions are going to start catching up to teams.
So Gallegos levels the match here in the 57th minute. San Antonio able to find the equalizer here early in the second half.
Nicely served ball, so well placed. Unlucky on the touch.
And Mormel will get another crack at doing better on his release.
I'll tell you, when you can have a center back that can play long diagonal passes like that and find a winger where when he receives it, he's got time and space to collect it and bring it down and run at the defense. It's like having a playmaker at the back. It was a great serve. I'd like to see more of that.
Again, Cormel can't play it in play. That's 3 balls in a row off of Wormel that he's failed to put the ball in play.
And the fans are letting them know it.
And just if you're wondering, there is no wind right now. It's not as if the ball is getting hung up in the wind and it's just being errantly cleared out by the keeper. I mean, he's not even close right now.
Well, and he's certainly not using Marlin, probably the shortest player on the park, as a target. So he's just really misguiding his kicks right now.
Maloney kept that one moving, and then he's got to take a foul. And you've got to wonder here how Connor Maloney really could have been given a second caution right there.
There's no question.
As an intentional foul on Cabato, Michael Insian got right up off the bench, and Connor Maloney's very lucky he doesn't get sent off here.
He's lucky because that is a yellow card offense. It was a breaking opportunity without a defender in place to stop the break, and he took him down basically from behind, and it should have been a yellow card. But Maloney's very lucky tonight, and so is San Antonio not to go a goal down under these circumstances, or a man down rather.
And Connor Maloney sitting on that first half yellow that he got towards the end of the half. Very easily could have gone into the books a second time. Johnny Fenwick will switch the play across. Bradley Bourgeois heads it forward. Malotto.
And these things are also dangerous because when a team sees a player that's got a card and almost received a second card, and they've got one of their best one-on-one players out on the left wing here in Marlin, That's where a team says, hey, switch the side of the park, get it to Marlon. Marlon, go at him. And players are very savvy in recognizing when a defender has got a little bit of a problem going on in that regard, that he can't pick up another card.
Gallegos, he's going to give it a go! Just wide.
Gallegos feels it deflected, that he deserves a corner out of this.
Yeah, he might be right.
Yeah, looks like it hit off the back of the jersey.
Looks like off the back of Johnny Fenwick, but instead we get Austin Wormel.
Well, we're
and another
calls are working in our favor for sure.
Experience. Looks like at least he's going to try the right side of the park.
Or try the center, and then maybe it ends up on the right side of the park.
You got that too. Back of the feet here of Cabato.
Great job by Epps.
Epps has it knocked away from Jason Johnson.
This is what we're talking about. Marlon getting set up and having a go at him.
And Marlon opens up for him. DaCosta back to Marlon. Falling it to himself. Like might have got it with a hand. He did.
But you can see they're going to try and take advantage of this side. And it's as simple as, Connor just has to be smart, stay on his feet, move his feet to move with Marlon, and also for additional defender teammate to come over and give him some help. So it's not a one-on-one, but it's more of a one-on-two. Very much like they've defended Gallegos in so many times tonight.
Sheldon. Nathan riding him. Nathan comes away with the ball. He's looking for Gallegos. Courtney Ford looking in Dylan's direction. Been a quiet night for Dylan, as you alluded to, Coach, back in the first half.
Well, he's tried to play as that central target, but sometimes when your teammates can't find you, you've got to go find the ball.
Here's Marlon, heavy on the touch. And again off of the hand of Marlon. Well, I thought, Coach, we were going to have the perfect ending in that Colorado Springs game, but Colorado Springs has just scored at the death, 1-0. The perfect ending, of course, would have been a 0-0 draw, as it would have only kept San Antonio in front of Colorado Springs, but obviously would have put them in a position, if they took all three, to get into the playoffs. Now, Colorado Springs has jumped ahead of San Antonio in the live table, sitting at 48 points.
Any chance it was Barry, the Colorado striker?
No, he had the assist.
What a season he's had.
Thomas Amang with a goal. And it looks like Colorado Springs is going to take all three. Alan Marcina showing yellow. I think my guess is this is a culmination of Alan's frustration with the referee here tonight.
He's been getting the attention of the referee many times tonight.
Zeps sends it to the back post, headed wide off of Dylan.
Big chance for Dylan there. And he's such a big, strong guy, and that ball kind of floated that back post. Would have liked to have seen him be less hesitant and more aggressive to get to that, even if it meant the diving header. Don't wait for the ball to come to you. Go attack that ball. It's a great service.
Well, as we expected, Joaquin Rivas will come on. Here's the first substitute to take out Kembo Kimbato in the 67th minute. Rivas, he's the longest tenured player for Tulsa. This is his 80th appearance, 22 goals in his career, and his 120th appearance in USL play, and again fresh off international duty, starting all three matches for El Salvador in the recent round of CONCACAF qualifying.
Right, and I've seen him mostly play out the right wing, but looks like they put him as the second forward, the underneath player. A little bit where DaCosta was playing earlier, but now DaCosta is deeper in the midfield where he can play make earlier from a deeper position, and use Rivas playing off Johnson as the twin striker.
Foul on Malotto. As Alan Marcina kind of looks on and thinks about what he has on his bench to work with here.
You're going to have to match energy with energy, and as they're making subs, you've got to be ready to make sure that we can equal that.
Maloney drives it in, defended out.
The other thing with a guy like Rivas that comes in from national team from El Salvador, when you come back from your national team, your confidence, your, I hate to say it, almost cockiness and just ability to go out and dominate play.
I would say the game probably slows down for you, doesn't it?
It does. It does, without a doubt.
Rivas, first touch to Avian Flanagan. Fenwick, back to Rivas. And El Salvador plays a very traditional 4-4-2 formation. He was, to your point, playing up top on the left side.
Right.
The striker spot, the second forward.
Well, and you know, the 4-4-2 that they play, and like Tulsa's played tonight, I always call it the system of partnerships. It's twos and twos and twos and twos. And as you develop a rhythm and a relationship with your partner, whether you're the two strikers, two center midfielders, the wing back or the winger, it becomes very dynamic. You're not going one-on-one. You're always playing with your partner, trying to break down the opponent. So it's a very solid system.
Bourgeois trying to drive it in. Deplan knocks it down, starts the counter for San Antonio.
So say you got to get Epps involved, you got to get Dylan involved. Nathan's always going to be involved. He's so active, as is Gallegos.
Gallegos. He's fouled by Flanagan. He's able to break loose momentarily, but the slightest bit of hesitation allows the foul to be called in the set piece for San Antonio. Good spot for them here. They've been dangerous in these positions, but play it short, trying to catch Tulsa. Napping a little bit, and that ball got through. And Gallegos takes it, tries to stay with it, goes down at the top of the area. Tulsa has it. Malotto nearly conceded it. Now play out to the wide side here. Tulsa can get moving as the field opens up for them a little bit. DaCosta through the middle of the park. Kamiri. DaCosta. Rivas.
Great combination play.
Costa looking at Jason Johnson. Can he settle? He can. Trying to play it off Connor Maloney, or Glito rather, who got back defensively. Nice job by Sam Glito on the recovery.
Dangerous approach by Tulsa for sure. DaCosta setting it up. Johnson just couldn't find that final action.
Now the other way is Gallegos. Drive one in and was blocked. Over to the near side. Epps will pick up the loose change. Sends it through into the area. Defended out by Tulsa.
Just a little bit more composure, a little bit better touch by Epps. He's so good in that spot, floating a ball, finding the open man. Seemed like maybe he's tired and just forced it. Just we need a little more composure at those moments.
San Antonio wanted a handball, not called. Maloney, another crack at it to the back post. There's Gallegos in the vicinity, but it's Tulsa who comes away with the ball, and it's Jason Johnson off to the races the other way. He's going against everybody himself.
Yeah, that's just not, for his maturity and experience, that's just not a good decision. He had players around, invite your team forward. You've just defended very hard, so you're huffing and puffing, and now you're going to run away from him and lose possession. Now we're defending again. So read your team and what they need at that moment, which was to hold the ball up.
There's a good run from Marlin. He got behind the defense. Marlin attacking in, drives it in off Cardone, who's able to come back and make the save cleanly. Good run by Marlin on that left flank. He's been dangerous there tonight. It's a final at Wiedner Field in Colorado Springs, 1-0. Colorado Springs is a winner. So one half of the equation is in the books, but San Antonio needs to complete the other half and come away with a second goal here to take all three against Tulsa. On the other side of things, right now on the table, with this match still not complete, Colorado Springs, for the time being, has jumped ahead of SAFC with 48 points into the second spot. If San Antonio were able to maintain this line at least, they would jump back ahead of Colorado Springs, even though they'd be even in points at 48, moving into the last few games of the regular season. And I still think it's coming down to that last match here, Coach.
Yeah.
They're going to be close enough, I think, within the 3-point margin that a victory for either side in that final game will determine home field in the opening round of the playoffs.
And yeah, you couldn't have written it better. I mean, we start the season with Colorado at home. We finish the season Colorado at home. We dominate them in that first one. What's it going to look like on the final day of the season is going to be a great story to unfold.
Set piece time here for Tulsa. Is Moloto over the ball as he gets set to go here.
Again, always dangerous, knowing when to track your man, when to hold the line and let him run offside. Some teams have signals. We used to use when the striker of the ball pulls his leg back. That's when we all drop. But every team's different. Everyone's got their trigger to react to.
Moloto gets pushed back a few feet. The 30-year-old gets ready to deliver. Good ball into the box. This is the head of DaCosta. Sheldon will return it here to Flanagan.
Kamari got good clearance on that.
Johnny Fenwick still forward in the play. Dylan rode his back. It's a throw awarded to Tulsa.
Dan, I don't mean this as criticism, but it's amazing to me. We've scouted the opposing team. We know who their tallest defenders are. How the service always goes to them, rather than obviously to an area of the penalty box that player doesn't exist in. So once again, Kamari is the man on that one.
To your point, Coach, 2 more subs coming on for Tulsa here. Rafael Ayagua and Lucas Coutinho. And again, the point you're making before about matching energy with energy comes more into play because, again, it's forcing San Antonio into position to see how long they go with this current group that has already played 75 minutes tonight.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's any question Lindley, with his midfield generalship, and even Lima, to give us better quality feet, because right now we can't let this game just be box to box. We need to control the possession and make sure we're making Tulsa use that energy not to attack us, or use those fresh legs not to attack us, but use those fresh legs to have to defend us. And so finding a couple of good quality players like Lindley, like Lima, to come in and control the tempo, I think would be very much to our benefit, and that's going to relieve players like Epps to again lean more forward into the attacking third, where they can use their qualities to try and get the winner.
It's Kevin Garcia. We haven't mentioned him much tonight. Here's center back, who's 31-year-old, a lot of experience. Jason Johnson will come off for Rafael Ayagua here, the Nigerian 23-year-old, will make his 14th appearance of the season and his 8th off the bench. And then Lucas Coutinho, the 28-year-old, will come on here momentarily too. Gallegos tracking there. And the ball worked away, coming back from DaCosta.
This is where I'd like to see us just start playing around a little bit, control the tempo.
Epps couldn't thread the needle. And again, Marlin on the left side. It's a good run for Johnson here as he gets set to come off here. That hit him up high, it did. And so now the subs will come on. Johnson will come off here after 75 minutes. Ayagua on in his spot. And the other substitute, Coutinho, will come on as he'll take off Marlin.
I'll tell you, Dan, you know, I have this expression, to always have your defense in a counter-proof position, meaning at least 3 defenders and 1 defensive midfielder is always in place. So even when we're throwing wing backs and other players forward in the attack trying to get that goal, that if the counter-attack comes, we're always in great position. And I looked at that last counter-attack where Tulsa plays that long ball, and we had 2 back, 1 wing back wide, no defensive midfielder. And we can't get so caught up in trying to get that goal by sending so many players forward that we forget to take care of the counterattack scenario.
Nathan keeps it in play. Run off the ball. Bradley Bourgeois will get rid of it. San Antonio FC still playing with a lot of energy with our current 11 that are out on the field right now. But to the newcomers, Ayagua and Rivas and Coutinho, just make the SAFC coaching staff think a little bit more here about what they do. Gallegos settling the ball. Johnny Fenwick will call a handball off the elbow of Gallegos.
But finally, the use of Dylan as a target, playing that flick off to the Gallegos run that puts him right outside the box. Could have ended up in a shot, but it's good Dylan's getting involved at this point in the game. And doesn't mean, Dylan, you got to be a goal scorer. You just have to bring your teammates into good positions as a target player. And if the ball happens to fall your way, then go ahead and finish it for us, and let's finish the night up with 3.
Courtney Ford. Abu.
Well done by Abu to switch the play, to find your winger quickly before they can close that back up and give him a chance to run to the defense.
Gleadle.
There you go.
Yep, back to Gleadle. A little bit of an opening. Turns it on Nathan inside the box. Nathan pulling back. Nathan! Ooh, good looking opportunity for Nathan, turning from his right to his left, getting that one off.
Really just a brilliant build-up starting at the back, switching to the left side, getting the support they need, and then sliding it inside, and the reverse turn to get that shot off. So close. Really well done.
One of the things, Coach, we can say, again, as SAFC's starters go deep into this match, I'm not sure there's a better conditioned team, at least in the Western Conference that we've seen this year, than San Antonio. Based on their style, based on the way they play, they know they run up and down the field, and they're conditioned to play that way. And that's why Alan Marcina is able to go deeper into matches with his starters, because he knows they're in outstanding shape.
Well, I agree with you, Dan, and credit to their fitness staff, the coaches, and to the players who make that commitment to become that fit and maintain that fitness. So if they're going to play high pressure at one end, high pressure the other, they know they have the legs to do that. I'd also say, if you're the Coach Marcina, you're looking at your back 4 and Abu and thinking to yourself, you know, we're really not under threat. There's nothing wrong with how we're defending. We have that part of our game in place. And we may be a little bit tired with some players, but we're not having big physical problems. We're running the field, and we're still creating some dangerous opportunities. So stay with your best. They know how to play the best together. And if there is a need where someone cramps or goes down, then that's a little bit different.
But Maloney's down here. Now, Lemma had already been brought over. My guess he was coming on for Maloney anyway. This probably will seal the deal. Maloney looks to be in some serious discomfort here, and so Lemma is going to quickly, it appears, get ready to come on as they go over and attend to Connor Maloney. As we cross into the 81st minute, 10 minutes remaining in a 1-1 match at Toyota Field. DaCosta in the 27th minute, and Gallegos a half hour later in the 57th minute, the goal scorers tonight. San Antonio's magic number coming into tonight was 4. And they've gotten the help they've needed on both ends, with both Austin and RGV losing. You see Joaquin Varela quickly coming over too, and he may be another defensive substitute if Maloney cannot continue at this point. It looked like that maybe Lemma wasn't coming on for Maloney. But again, if San Antonio FC can take all 3 here, they'll clinch a spot in the playoffs. Even if they don't win here tonight, Coach, they can still clinch a playoff spot this weekend should New Mexico not win tomorrow.
Right.
So that's another wild card in there by the end of the weekend. SAFC, even if they don't take all 3 here tonight, still could have a chance to clinch pending the result of New Mexico's match tomorrow.
Right. I mean, obviously, teams all over the world back into playoff situation based on other results. But I know San Antonio's mentality. We want to be able to just go out and dominate an opponent and grind them into the ground and win outright to put ourselves where we want to in the playoffs, which is a home field advantage. You know, this is as good a timeout as both teams could ask for. It's not one of those water breaks like we've had in the middle of the summer. It's not a TV timeout like you sometimes see in sports. But this will help both teams freshen and probably help San Antonio more because we're keeping tired players on. And therefore, the fresh players that Tulsa just put on don't get any benefit by this break. They were warmed up and ready to play. Now they're cooling down, whereas we're getting a bit of a breather and we'll come out with legs ready.
Take a look here once again at what happened with Connor Maloney on a tackle on Avian Flanagan. You see his left knee kind of buckled there at the end.
Replacing number 23, Sam Galino.
Not a good sign here. Connor Maloney struggling to put weight on his left knee there. Lemma will come on. Varella's on for Maloney. Lemma came on for Gleadle. And I guess that was the sub because Gleadle still working his way back into game shape too. So they were obviously hoping Maloney could finish the match. Gleadle coming off after 80 minutes. Lemma coming on. Maloney is off. Maloney's being lifted off the field here. Again, that's not a good sign. Moloto steers the ball in and a foul whistled on DaCosta.
You know, I feel sorry for Maloney. He's such a fit guy. When you look at the science of training, when a player sprints and plants, that it's 200 pounds of pressure times his weight. So you look at a guy like Maloney, and that's probably 500 pounds of pressure on that one step. And sometimes you endure that, and sometimes the joint can't hold up to it. So hopefully he'll recover from this, and it's a minor injury, but it didn't look good when it happened.
Another player down this time for Tulsa, getting stretched out here. Coach, dare I say, you know, we often talk about the heat, but dare I say, it's maybe downright chilly out on the field right now. 61 degrees. We started at 73, and we've gone down by 12 degrees since the start of this match.
Right, and if San Antonio keeps the majority of their starters on, that certainly helps them, that assists them. And maybe that's something Coach Marcina has in his mind too, as our guys are so fit that in this kind of climate, we're in good shape to keep going and keep them on there.
I see Hayden down there. He's crossing his arms. He might be a little cold.
Shivering down there. So DaCosta having a problem as well.
DaCosta
must have been more cramp oriented than joint oriented.
Well, DaCosta will come off. He'll be replaced by defender Victor Milke, wearing number 35. Epps able to maneuver through the defense. Tried to playing it off, looking in Gallegos' direction, defended away. Gallegos will get it back from Courtney Ford. And with Epps to the combination, back to Gallegos. Plays a low ball through, a dangerous ball. Lands at the feet of Abu, but he drives it wide.
But Dan, what we've talked about, you see Epps float to the outside there, get to interplay with Gallegos. That's a little bit what I've been missing tonight, that he's gotten kind of lost in that deeper center midfield role. Still great there, but he can be so much more effective from a goal scoring standpoint, working from a wide position.
Wormel sending it forward. Lemma on for his 100th career match tonight. Rivas. Milke moving forward to the left. Coutinho rolling it along. Nardoni well off his line there to play it.
Well, congratulations to Lema. All season long, he's been really the utility man, the go-to for so many scenarios and situations, and been such a benefit to this team. Let's hope.
Go ahead, Coach.
I was just going to say, let's hope for another 100 more games.
Nathan inside the box. Tulsa fortunate there. It's a sliding play along the back line. They're able to come forward, and now they've got running room up ahead. Bourgeois stopped running upfield and the foul called on Bradley Bourgeois on the quick reset for San Antonio.
And this has become counterattack after counterattack.
That's a hard challenge there from Ayagua. He's shown yellow.
That could even be a red. Both cleats up. That's a bad
legs
tackle.
of Muhammad.
Going to have to watch replay to see how high his cleats came up on the ball and on the on our player's legs. Bad tackle.
Abu able to get up. Doesn't appear any worse for wear. Ayagua into the books for the 5th time this season. And we should have even though we're in the 88th minute because of these injuries here over the last 5 to 10 minutes, we should have a healthy amount of stoppage time in the second half.
And so many substitutes as well.
A short play, Epps now balloons into the back post, and Wormel climbs over Courtney Ford, gets rid of it quickly. Ayagua ahead. San Antonio's got to be careful not to get caught in the counter. Coutinho, and nicely done there by Gallegos coming back. Milke playing into the middle. Meloto will switch the play out wide. It's Matt Sheldon running on Abu. Sheldon gets inside the area and will earn a corner for Tulsa. No, he will not.
That's surprising. Looked like a corner, but it was off him.
Gallegos fouled by Flanagan. San Antonio clinches a playoff spot with a win. But a draw certainly helps their cause too. We'll drop that magic number down to 2.
Well, as we said a little while ago when the game got tight, nobody's playing, even at this point, even with only a few minutes left. Tulsa, nobody's playing for 1 point. Everyone's looking to win this game. And why not? That's the mentality you've got to have come playoff time. You want to win if you play to win, you got a better chance to win. So why would we do any different?
Johnny Fenwick. Milke. Ayagua, nice turn.
That's a good turn.
Meloto, they got some running room here, overlapping on the right side with Bradley Bourgeois. Sheldon getting forward. He's looking in Rivas' direction. Courtney Ford gets up. Coutinho with a combination back from Rivas. Coutinho tries to give it a go and defend it. It's not getting out there from Abu. Stays in play. Lemma keeps it moving. San Antonio's going to come away with the ball. That ball just died.
And here comes the counterattack the other way.
4 minutes of added time. That is not as healthy as I thought.
No. Someone's got to be somewhere tonight.
DePlon.
Good ball by DePlon.
The runner at the end of it.
Gotta be aggressive. Gotta be more aggressive. I know you can't get to every ball, but you've got to show that you're being aggressive.
Well, this crowd trying to urge San Antonio on here in stoppage time. Can they get that golden goal that would get them into the postseason? Or will they settle for one and see what New Mexico does tomorrow? Of course, they'll have a chance to take care of business on their own in Albuquerque on Wednesday night for their final road match of the season when they take on New Mexico United.
And that's no easy game. I mean, we know New Mexico just came here and gave us a big match, and them getting to play at home. Their game has resurfaced late in the season.
San Antonio owes one in New Mexico, but again, on the trends, SAFC has never not only not won in New Mexico, they've never scored in New Mexico either.
There's that first one we're looking for. One at a time. Remember, we had that early in the season at Colorado.
Yep.
And finally got it done. So Nathan's put in some work tonight. Endless runs.
Zeps, an opportunity getting forward here at the end. Heavy on the touch. It's defended out, however. It's a corner to San Antonio. Halfway through the stoppage time. Corner number 6 tonight for SAFC.
Leave enough players back so you don't find yourself in a corner.
Drops down and goes out. It's awarded to Wormel. Boy, that was unbelievably unlucky for SAFC, the way that ball just dropped. Right at the feet of Nathan.
Yeah. He was surprised. He's thinking, give me that one again. We've not seen the qualities out of Rivas since entering the game. That's been good news for us, that he's not brought anything special to the match.
An opportunity that got through to Dylan. He makes the turn. He plays it over to Epps. Epps just too heavy trying to control it. And it's back to Abu. Abu looking to work it in, unsuccessful. Ayagua will clear.
Yeah, forced it into a crowd there. Probably would have been better sent outside where we had a winger open.
Yeah, that's not the best play there from Varela. Gives Tulsa an opportunity here at the death. Flanagan fouled. And Tulsa will be awarded a set piece, and my guess this will probably be the last opportunity of the match where we are here in stoppage.
I never like to say it, but all it takes is one chance. You know, this is a dangerous situation for San Antonio. We got to make sure we sky up and get great clearance and follow the clearance until we hear that final whistle.
Samoloto and Rivas both good on the service here from this spot. Kevin Garcia will look to get forward here in this position. It's Rivas to the back post, and it's headed away. Ayagua drive it out of the stadium. And full time at Toyota Field. 1-1 we finish. And San Antonio FC denied an opportunity on their home field to clinch a playoff spot, but they do reduce the magic number to 2 and still could have a chance to be in a playoff position if New Mexico loses tomorrow. To take a look at the upcoming schedule for San Antonio FC, they'll head to New Mexico on Wednesday night for their final road match of the season. That's an 8 o'clock start, and then back home for the final 2 against Austin Bold and Colorado Springs at 7:30. And coaches, this is our final telecast of the season. As always, it has been an honor and pleasure doing these games with you, my friend.
I have never learned more about anything in the sport as I have from you. And have a great time over helping the Spurs get back on winning track. And I'll take this and finish this up. But it's been a great pleasure, and look forward to next season.
We are putting it in your hands to finish the season strong. San Antonio and Tulsa finish level at 1 apiece here tonight. Gallegos gets his 6th of the season. DaCosta his 10th. San Antonio hits the road to take on New Mexico on Wednesday night, back here at Toyota Field on Saturday to take on Austin. Now for the coach, Tim Hankinson, Hayden Partain, and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. Your final, San Antonio FC 1, FC Tulsa 1. This has been a presentation of the USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.